On this break, I end up kissing that 15 in. But let's look at that break again, because it's a bad example. I did a horrible break. If you watch what the cue ball does, watch how the cue ball comes flying back to the head rail. I put way too much draw on it, and then it kissed off the 15, and there's no control on this cue ball. Almost scratched in the side, but it came off the point. So that's something you can kind of do, is watch what is happening on the break with the cue ball. That'll evaluate whether you hit the rack good or bad. You can see if it comes flying to the side rail or the other side rail, or if you're following or if you're drawing. So after that break, I go ahead and cut the 14 in the side. Kind of wanted to drift up and maybe shoot the 13 here in the corner, the 11 ball here in the corner next, but I didn't go quite far enough, so I hit the 9 ball up in the corner. That might seem like a little bit of an odd shot, but if I shoot it in the side, I'm going to lose control of the cue ball, and the cue ball is going to go flying into those 4 solids down at the other end of the table, and I don't want to get tied up in them. So I shoot the 9, come back with the 10. I want to get up for the 12 ball, but I end up behind the 3 ball. So I end up having to shoot the 11 ball next, and I'm going to go down towards the 13. I'm kind of losing a little bit of control in this rack, but sometimes your position isn't perfect and you can still kind of work your way around. So I cut the 11 ball, I bump that 13, and I end up leaving myself a bank now, because I pushed the 13 to the rail and the cue ball is kind of a little bit below it, closer to the head rail. So I bank it, come around, end up with a window between the 8 and the 3. And watch this next shot. I kind of go ahead and I hit it with a little bit of pace and a little bit of high right, to kind of get myself to the top rail there, and come back over to this side of the table. I was actually intending on going over the top of the 6, but I bumped the 6. If I hadn't hit the 6, I would have had a good shot on the 8 ball too. As it worked out, I had a good shot on the 8 anyway. On this next rack, watch the control in the cue ball. The cue ball, I happen to move to a second ball break, but the cue ball kind of comes over to the side rail and goes right back to the rack, and it stops. It's not totally out of control, flying every which way. I make the 9 and 14 on the break, and I actually end up opting for the stripes. What I really want to do right here at the beginning is kind of nudge the 8 ball open when I shoot this 15 ball. But I missed the 8, so here I'm just going to kind of work from one end of the table to the other. I'll use this 13 ball by the side pocket to kind of get myself on the 8 at the end of this rack. So I go ahead and shoot the 10. Notice my kind of stable bridge on this one. Took a little extra time. My fundamentals and my elbow dropped on that one. That wasn't necessarily the best example of a stroke, but I'm really concentrating on just keeping that stable bridge. Here I'm going to go ahead and shoot this 11 ball in the corner. I'm just going to come out enough to be able to shoot this 12 ball in the side. And I bump into that 13. I end up a little too close to the side rail on this 13, so I want to hold the cue ball just enough to get the 8 ball. If I had been just an inch or two further away from the rail, I would have been able to drift up and have a straight in 8 ball. But I just hit it soft enough to make sure I leave myself a cut on the 8 and just make the 8. Please like and subscribe.